Hi, I'm here to talk about my cultural identity and my own identity crisis, having grown up in Canada but being Chinese. Um, I didn't understand my family growing up. My aunt would come up to me and say, "Oh, when's the last time you washed your hair?" And I would be taken aback by that. I thought that was so rude. Or she would say to me, "Jessica, your toes look like chestnuts." And I was like seriously like really concerned about that. I don't even wear sandals anymore. I haven't worn sandals in my the rest of my life because I don't want to have chestnut toes. That doesn't look right. Does that mean they're dark? And and I always my feelings would be hurt. You know, I would interview in China and I've worked in China and Hong Kong, and people would make fun of the words I use or my accent, and they say that I'm not really Chinese. Or I speak Cantonese and I use the wrong vocabulary, and people would be like, "Where are you from? I thought you were Chinese, but you're clearly not Chinese. You sound like you're Chinese, maybe a little bit. You look Chinese, but you are definitely not Chinese." And I thought that was a little off putting. So I just want to set the record straight. I think everybody needs to know a little bit more about everybody else. I think when people make fun of each other, it's because you don't know enough about the other person. If you say, "Why are you wearing that?" It's probably because you really want to know why they're wearing that. But that might make you vulnerable, and you don't want to actually ask, "Excuse me, why are you wearing that?" Because that would make you seem vulnerable. So you just say it, "Why are you wearing that?" And then the other person thinks you're making fun of them, and they don't really explain why they're wearing it, and you'll never know. And so we never really share information about each other, and then we make fun of each other. And I think that's got to stop. I think we really need to stop making fun of, say, Chinese people's names, if they're translated to Xin Huang Lu, and then people will be like, "That's not really your name," and they'll be like, "Yeah, it's not. It's 我的名字. It's my Chinese name. It's not a name because a name is usually in English. Yeah, right? Name is an English word, so your name should be Jennifer or Jessica. 但是你的中文名字就是林韵文. And so, but because you can't say Lin Yunwen because you're not Chinese, then we have to do phonetics, which is Lin Yunwen, and that's because you can't speak Chinese, so you have to phoneticize it, and then people make fun of that because they're like, "Well, that's not English," and you're like, "Yeah, it's not English, it's Chinese, but translated into Pinyin." So, from everything from food to culture to customs, just a lot of things that aren't understood, and I'd like to shed some light, and so that people can learn more about the Chinese culture, and so the Chinese culture can learn more about being diplomatic and having decorum. For example, there's a recent example. There's a very famous movie that just came out, Crazy Rich Asians, of a lovely star, Constance Wu. But recently, she had a bit of a snafu, if you will, because her show was renewed, and then she said some disparaging things on social media that maybe she shouldn't have said. And I'm wondering if maybe she just didn't grow up with a lot of emotional regulation, because I definitely didn't have a lot of good modeling and role model in my mom, and she said a lot of things that were inappropriate, and my mom doesn't have emotion regulation, so I don't have very good emotional regulation, and I'm learning that. I'm learning that from other cultures. And so I would have to say that, other people from the Western culture, they may feel that way if their show was renewed. Maybe they had another project going on, but they wouldn't say it out loud. Yeah, no, they wouldn't say it out loud. They just like say it inside their heart, be like, "Fuck." But then on Twitter, be like, "Yay, renewed for the sixth season." Yeah, because you're thinking, "Oh, that's not really what she means," but she's not really going to say what she means, except Constance did say what she meant. And that's a no-no. Another scene in Crazy Rich Asians where the mom and the son are sitting down and discussing how he's going to marry the love of his life. It's very civilized, yeah? But China's history is very complicated, and it's not civilized anymore because a lot of the civilization was stamped out during the Cultural Revolution. And if that scene played out today in real China, that poor girl would have been put in a crate, shipped across the world, dropped in a jungle, and have her passport stripped, and she would never have made it back. And that's the true China. It's sad but true, but somebody has to shed some light on it. So here it is. That's part of it, and I'll come back next time and teach you some more. Thanks.